Well, hello and thank you for tuning into my channel. Today is going to be a review of the Solar Storm LED. It's like a light pack for your bike. It costs $14.99. I bought mine on eBay. The more you buy, the cheaper it is. So have a look on there. You get between 7 and 10% off depending on what seller you're getting it from. But just how good is this? Stay tuned, we're going to go into the detail. When you go shopping around for one of these, you'll see that in the item descriptions from pretty much all the sellers, it will claim a maximum output of 15,000 lumens. Well, that's just absolutely insane because it doesn't produce that at all. And I know that because when I pair it next to my Exposure 6-pack, it's a Mark II, so it's about 5 years old now. It produces a maximum output of 1925 lumens and just absolutely smashes this one to the ground. But you're not going to be disappointed with this, and that's what I'm saying at the beginning. For $14.99, £15, buy a couple, save more. It's extremely effective, and I've used this so many times before I got the Exposure one. So if you can't afford that, then this is where you go to, or you can spend a little bit more and then it becomes a little bit more, but you might not even like riding in the night. So it's always worth buying cheap, which is what I did, to decide whether you want to take it further and then put the funds into something that's going to last longer, is wireless for one, and is going to produce more of an output for your particular riding style. So what do you get in a box? Well, first of all, you get the LED light set itself, you get a battery, you get two rubber bands, one bigger than the other, depending on what size bars you have, but you also get, which I threw away because they were cheap and nasty, you get a rear light that goes with the package as well. So I had two of those, both in the bin, absolutely useless. I got it for the actual LED set itself, so it's up to you whether you were to keep that or not, but it's a nice little gesture considering I was only after this. So I'm going to mount this to the bar. You can see how it comes. You've got a little bit of foam there, so it's going to protect the bar itself. And then I like to place it as near to the headset as I can so that the weight is distributed correctly when you're handling the bike. And then the smaller of the bands for me, because I want it nice and tight around the bar itself. Just got it a little bit fiddly, but once it's on, I've done a couple of enduros with this in place and it hasn't moved anywhere, so it's absolutely fine. You could put a bit of tape underneath if you want to protect the bar a little bit more, but otherwise what it actually comes with is fairly adequate. And now at the rear you can see the operation button as well, and we'll go into detail of that when we connect the battery pack up. Now let's put the battery pack on the bike, get the cables connected up and get it as neat as possible. Good thing is it comes with this case, so you can mount that underneath the top tube wherever you deem fit. I'd advise you don't put it on your dropper because as it operates up and down it might drop off, cause damage to the battery, sever the wire, so just be careful of that. So I normally mount it here, wrong way, and then with that Velcro just make sure it's nice and tight, and then that's the battery in place. Now the next job is to connect the cable. To try and make this as neat as possible, all I've done for my night rides and even enduros, I've had one either side, so I'll run one wire one way, and then if it's the other side I'll run the other way, and then you can cable tie them together underneath or on top, whatever your personal preference is, to keep it all nice and taut. But all you simply need to do, like I showed you earlier, is connect it back up, and that is essentially it done. Just make sure you have enough flex here so that when you turn the bar you're not going to pull that cord tight and cause damage. So try it in this sort of environment first before you then go and hit the trail and find that you're massively disappointed because you've broken your light. When you look at the back of the LED unit, you've got the button that operates the light itself. I'll show you that from the front perspective so you can get a good idea what sort of beam you're going to get. And then more importantly, you have the status indicator for the battery. So you can see there, just about on the top one, that I've got a full charge. The 3 green LEDs are lighting up there. And that works really well, to be honest, when I've been on the trails. And it gives me a good reflection of what the battery juice is. But I can tell you now that this will produce on high beam about 1 hour and 48 minutes worth of that high intensity beam, which is absolutely brilliant. And anybody that does mountain bike riding at night knows that you don't ride around for 1 hour and 48 minutes on full beam all the time. So what I'll personally do is use the full beam to go down the hill or through the trail, and then if I know my way up it and we're all riding a little bit slower, then I'll put it on like a low or medium beam. Conserves battery, it makes perfect sense, and you'll get more out of the light. Let's go through the settings and I'll show you how it works. So when you press the button once, you'll see that the LEDs come on. and that is even bright in this condition here in the daylight environment I'm in. You press the button again, it goes to its second level of intensity, and you do the third and final selection on there, and that is the light at its absolute brightest at this point. When you press and hold the button in, it will strobe. So if that's a feature that you're after, then at least you know for this price point at $14.99 the device comes equipped with it, which is absolutely brilliant. So who's complaining at something from China that is so cheap but yet so effective? And when you press the back button once, it goes back to its default setting, which is the high intensity brightness of it. Click it again, you can turn the LED off. So that really is the short overview of the Solar Storm. It is a great product for the price, and I can't sort of emphasize that enough. No, it's not as good as the premium ones. Yes, you have to connect a battery every time, but for the money, it just can't be beaten, and it really is good build quality on the unit itself. Just some of those accessories are not so good, but what do you expect kind of thing. So I'm going to go out with this mounted as you see here, the one on the bar that I've already done, and supposedly that's going to be 30,000 lumens of energy going out tonight. However, you know, remain realistic. It's still going to pave the way really, really well, and I'm absolutely certain of that because I've used these a few times now, but the proof is in the pudding. Let's get on the trail and see how it performs. Well, I'm here with the boys from the Castle MTB Club. Some up ahead, one behind. I just like hanging around in this sort of area, not competing with any of the uphill bit. But I mean, it's only 8 o'clock and you can already see how sort of dark it is in the woods. So it won't be much longer before I have to turn the lights on and see how these things perform. But they're all set, good to go, and looking forward to giving it a whirl. So let's get to the exciting bits. Here we go. Getting darker now. Highest setting still. Give a bit of room. Closing up the gap a bit too much there. Very slippery. You can see the lights are there pretty good. Not struggling to see where I'm going. Just not used to all the tracks. Right, so I've got both lights on. This is max power. No problem in seeing what's ahead at all. Oh, yeah. Okay, hitting the trail this time. Lots of obstacles. See everything, no issue at all. I wouldn't be going this fast if I couldn't. Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh, absolutely splendid. Nice jump. Here we go, back to the van. I've done this on the way here, speed done on the way back. So I've come to a really dark section of trail, and when you turn it on low you can see that it illuminates quite well, medium, and then of course high. So you can see there that it does do the trail quite well. Adjust it and get that sort of area that you want to illuminate, and that coupled with a helmet is pretty good for the price point. So of course, if you like the video, rate it, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one, because I hope this one helps you out, because you don't need to spend ridiculous amounts of money to be able to ride the trail at night. Enjoy.